Good evening, my fellow Malaysians. This is Dr. K.N. Singh from Johor Bahru again, and I'd like to comment on the prospective piece entitled Why Perikatan National May Win in Selangor. Now, this was put out by the Singapore Ishak Institute, and the researchers were Dr. Mazuki Muhammad, who in his intro omitted that he was the former principal secretary to the 8th Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin. This omission is important, and without it, we all got the impression that this was written by an impartial researcher. The think tank that conducted the survey, Institute Masa Depan Malaysia, MASA, was also linked to Tan Sri Muhyiddin as he was the chairman of this institute. Firstly, the authors stated that they collected 1,200 samples across ethnic groups in 39 Malay majority state seats in Selangor in order to explore the dynamics of voting behavior with a special focus on vote transferability among Malay voters. But the paper only examined the subsample of 850 Malay voters, the responders. The authors never explained how and why this subsample of 850 was chosen, and was it because the data for the other 350 samples was tainted and could not be included as it would change the results? Or was it that the authors wanted to keep the sample of 350 to validate their hypothesis on possible vote transferability? The total numbers of voters in Selangor are actually 3,747,057 votes. This survey was only targeting the Malay majority 39 constituent areas in Selangor. They only had 1,200 co-responders who replied, out of which only 850 votes were considered. Now, I don't think that's much of a survey, do you? With the lead researcher, Dato Mazuki Mohammed, who was the principal secretary to Tan Sri Muhyiddin when he was Prime Minister, don't you think this is definitely biased? There definitely will be a transfer of votes between the PN and UMNO, as well as Pakatan Harapan, Perikatan National and UMNO. Sadly, our voters have the tendency to back the winning team, and that is why this survey was put forward to create the illusion that Perikatan National was the winning team. Now let's analyze this logically. The total voters in all states were 9,773,571 voters, out of which Selangor has the highest number of young voters between 80 and 20 years, which totals 274,194 votes. The total votes in Selangor are 3,747,057 votes. This is followed by Kedah with 104,284 new voters in a total of 1,585,085 votes. Kelantan has 94,513 young voters in a total of 1,411,912 voters. Now, Penang has 67,264 young new voters in a total of 1,237,198 voters. Terengganu has 64,264 young voters in a total of 980,894 voters. Negeri Sembilan with 55,017 new young voters out of a total of 864,425 voters. Incredibly, women make up 50.17% of the total votes of 4,935,937 votes, while men make up only 49.83%, totaling 4,837,634 votes. As I said earlier, Selangor has the highest number of young voters between 18 to 20 years old, which totals 274,194 votes. Now, the total votes in Selangor are 3,747,000 with and 47 votes. If you take 39 constituencies that are majority Malay and get only 1,200 responders, out of which you discard 350 and base your evaluation on 850 responders, do you think this is a fair survey? Can these results be said to predict the outcome for the whole state of Selangor, as Dato Mazuki Mohamad has tried to do, so we were misled that Perikatan National is the winning team? MP Azbin Ali says that Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim has done nothing for the economy. This is rubbish. He has got a whole lot of Chinese and foreign investments in 7 months, but the results will definitely take a few years to show. I would urge everyone not to be taken in by these biased surveys. They come, unfortunately, from a credible Ishak Institute of Singapore, and they seem credible because they are from Singapore, but the researchers are biased and have not declared their relationship with Tan Sri Mahidin, who is also the chairman of MASA, the very organization under which this survey is released. I urge all Malaysians to vote and give the Harapan Unity government a chance. Perikatan National, PAS and Tun Mahathir are bent on toppling the unity government. As if they do not, all of them are going to jail if found guilty for corruption, as Dato Najib was, and Rosma will soon follow after these elections. I've been asked what I thought will be the outcome. Now, politics can never be predicted, but I personally believe that Pakatan Harapan has a good chance, though we could be wrong, as this is politics. Selangor and Penang would definitely remain with Pakatan Harapan with better results. Negeri will also be Pakatan Harapan, as we seem to forget that DAP President YB Anthony Lok won his Member of Parliament seat in Seremban, which is actually a Malay majority seat. The Malays in Negeri and those in Johor are very discerning and are not swayed by racial sentiments. Now that leaves Kedah, Kelantan and Terengganu. Judging by the reception that Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim got, and with his track record and integrity, there is a chance that Pakatan Harapan may make inroads and surprise everyone. For those who want stability and good governance, I urge you to vote for Pakatan Harapan, and those who really cannot, please don't choose to stay away. You could vote for Muda instead. With a huge influx of new young voters, Muda may emerge as the third force and surprise everyone. Thank you for listening, my friends. God help and bless Malaysia and guide you to do the right thing with your conscience. Until we meet again, this is Dr. K.N. Singh from Johor saying good night. Have a great week.